Used to wear a cape at my school bookstore. They don't let me pull that shit anymore. Glad I got my Xbox. My Xbox always been so good to me.
Salutations, and welcome to another exciting episode of Dear Experimental Voicebox Programmer. If you don't know who Shael Riley is, you've been living under a rock. Pause the video and go check Wikipedia. Are you back? Good. Okay, so now that you know who Shael Riley is, you'll be delighted to know I conducted an interview with him via Skype. So, sit back and watch me make a total jerk out of myself and stumble over my words like an obsessive fanboy. This is my interview with Shael Riley. So, Shael, what is your fascination with a girl named Andy Walsh?
That is a song that Ricky Henry wrote, actually. That's the one song on that album that he wrote, yeah. You're talking about on Ultimate Songs from the Pit, which is the new album I did with Ricky Henry and Ty Gwenley as Shael Riley and the Double Ice Backfire. I wrote 13 of the songs on it. One was written by Ty, who's our producer and guitarist. One was written by Ricky, and that's the song you were just quoting, The Other Side of Memphis. And one was written by Benjamin Bear, who's not in the band. I don't know if you know who that is, but that's an artist who's a friend of ours formerly from Orlando. He just moved to somewhere in the Midwest. I think Michigan.
Really?
But yeah. Yeah. I mean, let's see. Ricky wrote Other Side of Memphis. Ty wrote Area Dolls Guy. Actually, Ty wrote most of Area Dolls Guy. He wrote all the music. And he wrote the first vocal part that I sing. And I wrote the second sung vocal hook, the second half, so I just wrote a little bit of lyrics. And Megaran obviously wrote the parts that he raps on. Yep.
Oh, so
and
that was Megaran.
Yeah. Oh, was that not in the version I sent you?
No, it was.
The credits weren't there?
It was just kind of ironic. I went and saw MC Chris and MC Lars at the Blind Pig in Ann Arbor, and Megaran opened for him. And I was like, I've heard of this guy, but I haven't heard any of his music. And it turns out I had heard, well, at least...
Yeah, that was Megaran.
So I guess I kind of got a brief introduction to yourself and the rest of the band. Any other detail on what each member of the band does?
Well, I do all the NES programming. I write I wrote most of the music myself. I'll write a demo, which will be just the NES and my voice and the lyrics, and I'll send it usually to Ty, and he will do a full arrangement with guitar and bass, and usually do the drum programming. And on this album, Ricky is our drummer. He works with us live, and he does drums on a lot of a lot of our live stuff and a couple of other tracks. But he actually doesn't drum on the album versions of these songs. He I don't think he actually doesn't do drums on any one track on this album. But he did write The Other Side of Memphis, lyrics and music, and he sent me a version with him playing guitar and his roommate was singing it because I guess Ricky can't sing and play guitar at the same time. So he was like, I want to pitch you this demo, but he couldn't sing and play guitar at the same time, so he got his roommate to do it, who's an awesome guy who I know. And it was really funny to hear them, after I knew them and I didn't know his roommate could sing or anything. And I liked it, so I took it and I did an NES arrangement, and then Ty added guitar and drums and bass, and it was mastered by Drew Levine, who was a professional who we met through I Fight Dragons, and I think he did a good job. And I'm kind of rambling now. I don't know what to say. But I didn't mention the one other track that that no one of the band wrote is Actual Conspiracy, which is written by Benjamin Bear. That one. That's the one. But all the rest is us.
I did notice kind of a different feel on that song from the rest of the record. It's a different vibe, I guess, for lack of a better word.
I'm glad that comes through.
So how did you and Ricky and Ty meet?
How did I meet? Well, I met Ricky in 2006 when he found some music by me. I'm not sure where. I had music various places on the web, and like he found some songs by me he liked, and he just like cold messaged me on MySpace out of nowhere. He's a filmmaker, and he was like, "Will you do some songs for my film?" And I was like, I don't know, I'm doing other stuff. And he's like, "I'll pay you." So I was like, "All right." But then we became really good friends. He was like really fun to work with, and you know, he gave me really good direction. I liked the way we worked together, and I'm not sure how we actually got to doing music together, but you know, I knew he was a drummer, and let's see. Oh, I remember. I'd been playing in New York City with a backing band that had Zen Albatross in it, who was a chiptune artist. He still is a chiptune artist. Mm-hmm. And you know, I didn't have a name for that backing band. We just booked as Shael Riley. I didn't like feeling like it was like, you know, just me with the name billing, but I didn't want to book under a band name and not have people who wanted to, like, you know, maybe hear my music know it was me. So, yeah, I was kind of uncomfortable with that, and I think the band was too. But I just didn't occur to me to like have my name and a band. I didn't think of that naming convention at the time. God, I'm rambling. Anyway,
hey, it's fine. You're giving me way more information.
I'm out of practice. I haven't done an interview in like a year. Anyway, so I was in this band, and Zen Albatross did backing tracks on Game Boy, and I stopped playing with that band, and Ricky, at around the same time we stopped playing together in New York, these guys, Ricky got in touch with the guy who did all the animatronics for Chuck E. Cheese in the 80s. I guess he was doing videos on YouTube of, like, his animatronics dancing to pop songs, like Single Ladies, you know, Beyonce, and like Umbrella, Rihanna, and at the time, and this is 2008, I guess. Yeah, and that guy, I guess he knew Grammar Club, and he wanted to do a music video with his animatronic guys. This is what Ricky tells me. And, so this guy asked Ricky if he could get a hold of the Grammar Club, and if we would go down to Florida, where he lived, so we could shoot a video to Girl Trouble, which, I don't know if you know Grammar Club, my hip-hop, like, all hip-hop band with Beefy.
Yeah. Isn't Glenn Case involved in that as well, or...?
He was on the first record with us, but he's not with us anymore. He just, you know, just creative differences. We're still buds. But yeah, you know, it's kind of a rotating cast anyway. Anyway, he knew Grammar Club, and you know, Ricky wrote to me and relayed the information, and I was like, well, I could come down. I don't think, you know, Beefy can come down, or Glenn, or, you know, Dan, DJ Snyder. They're all West Coast, and Adam, who mixed and produced that album, like, we don't even know how to get a hold of him. He's in Canada somewhere, and nobody even, like, has his screen name anymore, or his address. He just disappeared. But, you know, I told the guy, I can come down if you want to do a video. And you know, Ricky was like, you should come out to Cincinnati and hang out with me, and then we'll go down together. It'll be a fun road trip. And I was like, yeah, cool, that sounds good. And then he was like, why don't you play some shows along the way if we're going to drive down from Ohio to Florida? And I was like, if you want to book shows for me, and you think you can do bookings, then okay. And you know, he ended up booking like 3 or 4 shows, and I think like 3 of them were in Cincinnati, and like 1 was in Orlando. So it wasn't like we were really doing a proper tour. It just didn't work out like that, you know.
What about on the upside, playing 3 shows in Cincinnati? Anybody who saw you the one night and really enjoyed it had the opportunity to come back the next day and see it, or?
Yeah, that was true. I did, like, you know, I met a bunch of cool people, and I love the city of Cincinnati, and that's, like, a big part of the reason why, because I had such a good experience there. And also because I've been there a few times and hung out with Ricky and his friends. But, so, you know, we wound up making this big road trip, and I was playing these shows, and, you know, I didn't really know how to do solo shows. I still don't have a setup I'm really comfortable with for solo shows, because of the kind of music I do. You know, I'm not a good enough guitarist to do just acoustic stuff, and I think, you know, my songs could hold up acoustic, but they're ideally written for soft synths or chiptunes, electronic stuff.
Right.
Even though it's not like dance music, it's like melodic vocal pop music. But just like bringing an MP3 player and singing over instrumentals is lame. It's like karaoke, you know? And like I said, I don't think I can, like, carry it myself on guitar. So instead of playing acoustic guitar, like, the idea came up that we could do, like, hardware chiptunes instead of an MP3 player from a Game Boy. And you know, that's got a real warm analog sound. It's not pre-recorded. It's live generated by the sound chip. It's a little bit more of a performance. Or it's at least a little bit more of a spectacle for an audience to be into. And, you know, I had done that with Zen Albatross, you know, a few months earlier in the city. And Ricky had a copy of Little Sound DJ, and he hadn't, like, really learned how to use it, but he thought with a few weeks before the show, like, you know, he would give it a shot, and he did. And, you know, he had some help he created instrumentals based on my instrumentals, you know, his, like, solo Game Boy arrangements based on, like, MIDIs I sent him and stuff. And he did have a significant amount of help from Zen Albatross. He did get, like, copies of Zen Albatross's arrangements, but they couldn't actually transfer the files because it kept, like, corrupting.